It's okay.
We're live. It is okay.
Go back to sleep, buddy.
It's okay because we're live. We're live now.
We
Yeah.
clapped
Okay,
to sync the podcast recording, and I woke up the cat.
Oh,
Oh man.
So he literally woke up and started chirping like, huh, and now he's trying to drift back to sleep.
He woke
feel
up and he was
awful.
like, "Oh, top down perspective. Hey, it's June." Oh, what?
he's all thrown off because E3 has been all weird. Been a mess.
He says his clock to E3 time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when he sleeps though. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, E3, nap time."
Yep.
How's it going, guys?
Good. Cat's gone back to sleep.
Oh, that's good.
Good boy, buddy.
I want to go back to sleep.
Me too.
I would
Yeah, I've been pretty
I'm probably
tired.
not going back to sleep for another 6 hours.
Yeah.
6 hours. Yeah, it is.
I'm going to bed at like 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. right now. Like my sleep schedule's a bit wonky. How about your guys?
Late.
I mean, it's different than like pre-COVID, but not crazy different.
Oh, I was gonna say like mine's not even all that different at all.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, without having to do like a commute to work, I was able to like kind of shift my schedule back a little bit. I don't need to wake up as early because I don't have that like hour-long trip
Yeah.
each way.
I've been waking up earlier.
Yeah,
I have normal time
that
now.
must be at least a little beneficial.
Right on, right on.
I'm up in the morning. I go to bed usually about midnight, 1 at the latest. So I've been pretty normal.
I'm like a pretty consistent like 11 to 7:30.
Okay.
I'm right now. I'm 3 a.m. to 11:30 or noon.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever slept to like past. Definitely not 10. I'm wondering if I've ever even slept past 9.
It's not even worth it, to be perfectly honest. I don't know how else to describe it. Like you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
But like my body's just like, all right, you went to bed like an hour too early, then just sleep through your alarm, even though you were giving yourself 8 hours sleep on your alarm. Now it's gonna be like 10.
Oh, weird.
It happens
It's even
all
been a
the damn time.
while since I've needed like an alarm. My body's just so used to like 8.5 hours of sleep. Like my alarm is set for like 7:45, but I'm always up at like 7:30.
No, man, if I don't have my alarm on, there's no telling what time I'm gonna wake up. Because it depends too. Like if it's cloudy enough, like my brain will think it's still early because it's dingy looking, so I'll just stay asleep or just go right back to sleep.
See, I did the opposite thing. I put up blackout curtains in my bedroom because I have these really big windows that are right kind of like where my head sleeps. So, and it gets real bright here kind of all the time in the morning and early in the morning. So it could be like 6 o'clock in the morning and like daylight. So I had to put blackout curtains eventually.
I wish I could use blackout curtains again.
Yeah.
Reese just hates sleeping with no light. She needs some light in the room.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a humidifier that we run that also it works as like a kind of a
Like
room
a night
light
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we leave
You
on,
should
and
put
then
up- You should put up those like glow in the dark stars on the ceiling.
That'd be pretty cool.
We have popcorn ceiling, which sucks.
Well, so growing up, I did too. We still put them up in my bedroom.
Really? Because I remember
Yep.
trying to do the same thing as a kid, and they were just like the worst thing. Like you had to like scrape off so much popcorn, and just it made a huge mess.
I mean, I didn't put them up. It was my parents. There's no way they were scraping off popcorn, so they must have just put like a whole bunch of putty and just like made it work kind of. I don't know. But I definitely had popcorn ceilings and those glow in the dark stars. And my family actually just recently got rid of them.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
Because they're like, we're getting rid of the popcorn ceilings. So I had that like my whole life, which I always thought those were super cool.
Cool.
That's crazy that they kept it there that long.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like they bugged anyone.
I guess. One of the things I always wonder is like, as a kid, my dad built me like a bunk bed, like one of those half bunks that also was like a desk on the bottom instead of the second bunk.
Yep.
And we sold the house when I graduated high school and moved away. But I never found out if the owners who bought it after, if they removed it or not. Like I've always wondered that bed is actually still there because I know the house still is.
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would probably depend on how old the kid is, because at some point you don't want to sleep in a bunk bed.
Yeah, I know that the family that bought it, they had kids that were about like 10 years younger than me. So they actually would have been the perfect age for enjoying that bed.
Right.
But yeah, no, at the same time, like when I outgrew that bed, like I moved to a different room. I literally just moved to the basement.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I always had the option, and my parents often gave it to me, like, "Hey, do you want to move to like the basement room? Would you like that to be your bedroom, kind of thing?" And I specifically said no because I was already down there so much, like playing games or on the computer, that I was like, if this was also my bedroom, I would never see my family again.
See, you're smart.
You're right.
Because like
You're right.
it took me until I was an adult that I was just like, I'm not putting a TV in the bedroom. Because like the bedroom is meant to sleep. Everything else, like I'm spend too much time in the like living room and computer room as it is. I don't.
Oh, I mean, my
to...
bedroom still had a TV. I am all for putting
Yeah.
a TV in your bedroom. I think at this point, actually,
I'm not.
The only reason I wouldn't do that is because I have I like an iPad, and
Oh,
I
okay.
have a phone that just those screens look gorgeous, and they have like night shift. So if I want to watch stuff in bed, I
Right.
want it to have like the night shift thing for whatever like eye sleep cycle stuff that happens. If whatever. But once I got my own place and I could put like what would have been my bedroom stuff in the living room, that was a
Yeah.
game changer.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to share a quick fun anecdote that I had over the last week as we transition into game talk. We were talking about the disc versus non-disc version of the PS5.
Right.
Yeah.
So just after that, I was like, I should buy the Horizon Zero Dawn DLC because I never finished that game. I definitely didn't play the DLC. I want to do both of those before that game comes out. So I load up PSN. I have a physical copy of Horizon because I got it years ago. It was on like an Amazon pre-order discount thing. I load up PlayStation Network. I go to buy the game, the DLC. The DLC is like, I think it was $17. It was somewhere around 15, give or take, like about 250. So I'm gonna say it was $17. On Amazon, they were selling the Game of the Year edition, so the game itself and the DLC, for $10.
Damn.
Ooh.
So it just made more sense to buy the Game of the Year edition, even though I'm
Yeah.
going to have 2 copies of this game. Whatever, it's not the first time it's happened to me.
Sure.
And then that kind of made me realize, like, if I get the non-disc version, I miss out on these like weird deals like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Every now and then when a physical version is cheaper for some reason, like I'm just kind of limiting myself, and I don't want to get in the position going forward where it's like, oh yeah, you could have played this game, but nope, you have to buy the digital version of it, and that's your only option. So I thought that was just kind of
I mean, if we're being real, like more often than not, this digital version goes on sale.
Yeah.
Than the physical.
For sure. More often than the physical ones, but I just kind of hate the idea that I might miss out. And I mean, we're talking about a difference of $7.
Sure.
But I just thought that was a fun anecdote, and it happened like the evening after we had discussed this. Like it was like immediate, like, oh, I think this is a sign. I think I know which version of the console I'm getting now. Anyways, that was just silly. But hey, speaking of video games, this is the Top Down Perspective. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul
Still.
Fleck. Still.
I'm John Wheeler. That changed last week.
Yep. We swapped him out for the new model.
Yep.
Or the old model?
2.0.
The older model.
I'm the retro model. I'm the retrofitted model.
Okay. What does the new model do that you can't?
Sleeps less.
It sleeps less. Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks, man.
Can probably run a little faster.
I don't know about that.
No, you're faster now than you were as a younger person. Like if you had to race,
I was not very fast as a kid. I'll be real.
Okay, so you versus, let's say, 16-year-old John on a foot race, 100-meter dash. Who's winning that?
I think the agreement will be that we're both going to play a video game instead. So I think the answer
such a
is
cop
no
out,
one
man.
wins.
That's such a.
But that's exactly what I would do. Tell me I'm wrong.
Also,
tell me I'm
wrong.
Yes, says the jock.
Yeah, I'll take it as I start this video game podcast. What did I say? June 18th. It's E3 continues.
The
At
never
this
ending
point, yeah,
E3.
it never ends. It's just all the time. We'll get into that when we talk about some news. But first, Paul, I want to hear about what you've been playing.
Okay. The first thing I took a look at that game in Disintegration. It's that weird robot-looking thing from new studio V1, I think it's called. It's made by one of the original creators of Halo. They're his new studio and like small team or whatever, and they made this weird first-person flying mech RTS hybrid game.
That sounds amazing.
Right? So here's the thing. It's not. They're trying. The problem is they're trying to do too many things, and they do all of them okay, but not one of them like really stand out-ish. So it's kind of one of those mediocre, like, this is a cool idea, but it isn't like amazing. So it's kind of whatever. But
this is making me think of a Brutal Legend.
Kind of. So what it actually plays more like is like Mass Effect, you controlling your party members. So you have you start off with 2 like squad members or whatever, and I think you can get up to 4. And you go on different missions of like scavenging supplies or whatever. There's like a whole campaign and story going on. Pretty standard stuff that I kind of don't care about, but like the world seems fleshed out enough that it's fine. There's in this is like a future where there are humans that have transferred their brain into like robots, but there's also still like normal humans around too. So there's like little wars and shit going on and like different conflicts and whatever. And you play as a grav pilot, and gravs are basically these like hover bikes that can go like decently high in the air, but not like fly necessarily, just kind of give you a higher vantage
jet
point.
moto.
Kind of, yeah.
It's like Airblade for the PS2.
Yes, exactly. The whole idea about it is that it gives you like a high vantage point so you can direct where dudes should go and do stuff, because you can shoot as well. Like, it is a first person shooter in a lot of ways, but your guns are like just as powerful as like your squad mate guns, which is to say not really. You need to kind of work together to like take down dudes, and you can tell your squad to like focus target on certain individuals to take them out faster, or different people in your squad have loadouts for different things. Like, one of them has a concussion grenade that'll just stun like a little area of effect for a while. One of them has like a slow motion field that they can put down that slows everyone in it like immensely to the point where they're basically not moving. So you can like plan around that. And it's very, very cool looking, and it's a cool idea. So I give it points on being a totally playable, cool idea, but it's a little monotonous in what I've played of it so far. I've played a few hours of it. And I don't feel like it really strives to be like amazing or anything, where I think it could do something kind of like cool and unique. I will say the thing that is kind of neat about it is there is a multiplayer mode, which is basically like capture the points, and it plays like the single player. So it is literally 5v5, where each person has their own squad of like 3 or 4 dudes that they control. So it's this weird like tactical RTS shooter thing to control points, and it's kind of dope. There's nothing like it on the market right now. So like,
yeah, that sounds interesting.
It's very, very cool.
It's like 15 versus 15 kind of.
Yeah, for sure. It is. Okay. It is 15 versus 15, or maybe 20 versus 20. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 squad mates you get or whatever. Yeah, like little minions. But it's kind of this weird like stalemate thing where if you cross a line, the other players will probably just kill your AI companions, and then you're screwed until like you're able to get them back or whatever. So it's this weird like giant war mode that's going on. I think it's really, really neat. I feel like it might be the type of thing that not many people will be playing after a while, and it'll be hard to find matches, because this is a $50 product, and it's kind of hard to recommend at just being okay. Yeah, at $50. But it's it is doing something different. So if this sounds like interesting to you at all, maybe look at some video, see if like it's something you might be into. Again, it plays more like a Mass Effect like tactics game where you're in real time controlling your little minions and like telling them where to go and like who to shoot and whatever. But
Honestly, I like never used that stuff when I played Mass Effect.
okay, I use that shit a lot. So this is like
all right.
obviously a more involved version of that. But yeah, I don't know. Not a whole lot to say about Disintegration except for it's a cool idea, and I think that it could be a cool game if they changed some stuff up and maybe streamlined it even. I don't know what they could do, but if this could be like the new Titanfall or whatever that people like,
whoa,
that gets good, like really
Strong
good.
words there, yeah.
Those are some strong words.
That gets really good. It could be. I don't think it will get that far though. I have a feeling this might be dying. I saw a few reviews of it, pretty middling reviews, and I can understand why. It's unfortunate, but at least they're trying something new, I guess. The big thing though, I guess, is I've been playing The Last of Us to get caught up for Last of Us 2, which comes out in like 4 hours from now or whatever, a few hours from now.
2 hours from now.
It's soon.
Yeah. So,
I'm excited, and I'd like, if I can quickly add,
Okay.
as someone who preloaded it and all that. Here's my just semi-monthly reminder that the PlayStation Network sucks for not letting you add credit cards from different countries to your account.
Oh right.
Even
right, you still
Nintendo
have that
lets you do
issue.
that. So when Nintendo's beating you at the internet, you fucked up.
For what it's worth, I use PayPal, so I don't have any.
I can't use my PayPal because it's like an American PayPal.
That's so weird.
Believe me, I would love to use my PayPal.
That's really weird.
Huh.
And it doesn't even tell me why. If I try the PayPal, it's just like, I don't know, man. What is this? Like, it just like errors out.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
That sounds really frustrating. Damn.
It is. He's been dealing with that for a very long time.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Anyway, you're playing Last of Us.
Yeah, so back in 2013, I played about half of this game. I still kind of don't like how it controls that much, but I've gotten kind of okay with it.
Oh, did you never finish it?
No, even though I know what happens because people wouldn't shut up about it. It was actually spoiled for me before I was like even playing it back then.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, let's not spoil it here because I'm sure lots of people are kind of like playing through it.
Yeah.
But that ending, I think, is great.
There's no point in spoiling it. Like, it does...
Yeah, no, I'm not...
Yeah, for sure.
I
I still don't like the shooting that much. Although I will say, when you get both upgrades of it, like his weapon sway ability to like turn that off, basically, you have like upgrades you can get for Joel, and if you spend like 150 points at some point, you can basically get rid of weapon sway, and then it's totally fine after that. But at the beginning, it's kind of shitty for that. I still just like that atmosphere, really, more than anything. The story is kind of whatever. I like those characters, the two main characters, obviously. All the characters in it are fine, but some of them are like more tropey than others. But like Joel and Ellie are very, very good together, and like they have a good relationship that builds up. And some of those like set pieces are fucking horrific, but not in a like ooh jump scary way. Just like this is the worst situation ever. way.
The second one is like just riddled with that stuff.
Yeah. Also, I forgot how
People being
violent that
mad.
game is. I, like, trust me, I love me some violence. Give me, like, Scorpion ripping spines out any day. That shit, like, makes me laugh. Seeing a guy
that's like a
get
cartoony
stabbed in
level
the
of violence.
throat is real fucking gnarly. And just, like, oh my god, the shit that happens in that game is just, like, maybe too realistic in some spots. That's, like, this is horrifying.
Yeah, I'm
Amounts of
curious
violence.
if I'm gonna be like playing the second one and just need to like I need a break. I need something with color and life.
I mean, everyone's been saying like the game is like hella depressing.
I'm
Yep,
sure.
So that's what I'm concerned about with the sequel. If
I-
they actually just went too far.
Yeah. I mean, the
I don't think
first
I've heard
one is
anyone say
really
too
dark
far.
too.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Or did you finish it, the first one?
I thought I was going to finish it before the podcast. I was told I'm about 2 hours away.
Okay.
I don't know like how to explain it. I'm after winter. I'm in spring, which is the end of the game. So
Yeah, I don't. I kind of only remember some of like the set pieces. That was so long ago.
yeah,
I'm curious. I'm assuming you're playing like the remastered version,
I am. Yeah,
and which includes the DLC.
both of them. Yeah, the multiplayer DLC and the more importantly the Ellie story.
Yeah. I could not tell you anything about the multiplayer. Although I hear people were into it, and I never tried it.
Same with Uncharted. Uncharted multiplayer was dope, but like nobody ever talked about it. So
Yeah. No, but I was talking about the LA DLC. I'm curious because I played that after the game. Does it put it in the middle of
it
that
doesn't.
game, or is it separate?
It's a
Okay,
different.
because it takes place in the middle of that game.
It takes place in winter. Yeah.
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 So,
no.
okay, so they don't put it
It's
in
a
the middle.
different option in the like menu, so they didn't integrate it
Okay.
at all. Yeah.
It's interesting. Like because like why not integrate it?
Yeah.
Like it's But anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. So yeah, I guess it's just one of those things. It's like this game is still fine. I'm excited. Oh, I guess my big problem with it, if like I have any problems really to speak about at all, is that the AI in that game ranges from extremely like 500 galaxy brain amazing to the stupidest AI I've ever seen in my life. And it's just weird, and I don't know why sometimes the dudes will just get glitched out or something and be staring at a wall, and I'll just walk past them and it's fine. Sometimes I'll be in a shadow and they'll just walk over, look at me and say, oh, there he is. And like everybody converges on me even though I didn't do a thing. And I don't know why there's such weird discrepancies sometimes in that game, but whatever.
Hey, man, not everyone gets the same education, and like the funding for schools is down. So some people are just smarter than others, and it's a shame, really.
I would be okay with this explanation if it wasn't the exact same part I'm talking about, because like I would fail it because this guy has like eagle eyes and is amazing, and so like tracked my fucking footprints in the snow and like was able to triangulate my position this like different fucking state or whatever, and then like I die or whatever.
You're fighting
it's like
Sam Fisher. Is it just Sam
dude,
Fisher you're coming
sometimes
at?
it sometimes feels like it. I don't understand why sometimes they're so good and then you reload the same part and then they're just like not even paying attention to you when you're walking basically right in front of them. It's just so weird. So I just chalk it up to video games are hard to make and sometimes shit changes, I guess, in the code. But yeah, no, I'm excited for Last of Us 2. I have heard it's quite brutal. I remember seeing a little bit of that like trailer or whatever they showed of it like a long time ago, that little bit where they showed Ellie gameplay with like a bunch of hunters or whatever. And I specifically remember some of the kills were like fucking brutal, and you heard the NPCs like saying she got like this person by name. I don't remember the name. And then you're just like,
they'll also from what I understand,
that's
like, you
terrible,
have to, like,
dude. Don't
you'll
give
have
them
to like
names.
kill some dogs, and the dogs have names.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, and then you
people
feel
be like-
guilty about it later or something like
They'll
that.
be like, "Yo, she killed Spot."
yeah.
It's like, oh man.
It's fucked up. It's the worst when they give them names. That shit sucks. Like that's a good way to really drive it home. But yeah, no, it's been fine. I guess like I would recommend it if anybody hasn't played these games and we're kind of looking for it. This game is like the remastered edition on PS4 is like $10 to $15 regularly on sale. It's quite cheap. You could just play through one. It's not that long, honestly. I think I'm like maybe 13 or 14 hours in, and I was told I have 2 chapters left, and 2 chapters is about 3 hours the way I'm playing it right now. So, like, if you played on an easier difficulty, you could probably do it in, like, a little less time, even. And, there's a lot, like, even the parts I did play before, there's a lot of stuff that happens in that game that I just didn't remember. I remembered, like, some of the, like, big beats of, like, specific characters and what happens to them, or, like, what they do, or whatever. But, like, I forgot some of the set pieces that they put you in, some of the weird, dank, like, broken down buildings and shit chasing you, and there's a lot of stuff in that game that's kind of neat to revisit. So it's been cool. But I'm looking forward to the new hotness, and I'm hoping we can talk about that next week a little bit. That's it for me.
I plan to. So yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go next. Excuse me. Have you guys heard about Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
No. Tell me about it.
Yeah, let me tell you about
From
Assassin's
the
Creed
beginning.
Odyssey. Yeah. Cassandra's way better than the guy. Full stop. You should play as Cassandra.
Is there actually any difference? I was meaning to ask you this because I don't know. Or is it the same story with different like names?
I mean, I didn't look into it, but I'm pretty sure all they do is because
Name change.
if you play Cassandra, your brother is like the big bad guy.
Yeah.
And I think they just swap it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I figured too.
Okay, no, specifically, I have gotten into the Atlantis DLC. And let me just say, like, I've had like 3 different what I would call endings happen to this game.
Yeah.
I found out there are no credits. They do not roll credits. They're trying to trick you into playing forever.
Okay.
If you want to watch the credits, you have to go through like in the menus. So my quest to like, what do I need to do to like get to the credits to say like I finished it? That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Anyway, though, the endings I've seen, the weirdest, like there's some just Assassin's Creed nonsense going on, and it is super silly. I'm not going to say what they are because they're obviously huge spoilers.
Sure.
But there is just some like weird time stuff going on, which I mean I can appreciate as someone who's like played almost all these games. That's fine. The Atlantis DLC specifically is not in Atlantis.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Of course it isn't.
I'm pretty sure the DLC is even called The Fate of Atlantis. Now, like the other piece of DLC from the season pass, it's broken up into 3 chunks. I'm right at the end of the first chunk, and I'll get into why I haven't finished that chunk yet in a minute. So for all I know, maybe the next 2 chunks it does go to Atlantis, but at least this first chunk, it's a whole other area. You go to Elysium, which is like the afterlife, and there's the gods are there and such. It's very similar to in Assassin's Creed Origins. You went to, I forget what they referred to it as, but you went to like the afterlife there as well, and you were battling like Anubis statue creatures and giant scorpions. But you're in this like, you know, holy godlike place. It's actually a pretty cool setting because all the it's just like a bunch of islands that are connected by these like teleporting beams and stuff. So it looks really nice and it looks cool. It's well laid out. And there's actually like stuff to do in there. Like there are towns and blacksmiths you can interact with, whereas I feel like the Origins afterlife was pretty barren except for like some like forts to go, you know, take down and fight some people and whatnot. I could be misremembering. I will tell you that the horse you unlock in Origins DLC is better than the horse you unlock in Odyssey's DLC.
Okay.
Or whatever that's worth. So the reason I haven't made it as far as I would have liked, I really wanted to try and get through this whole DLC before Last of Us, but that is not happening, is the second last quest in this first third of the Fate of Atlantis DLC is basically have you done every single thing on the map yet? You haven't? You have to do that before we let you progress in the story.
Oh.
Ooh.
Like, that has never happened ever.
Gross.
In the last 2 Assassin's Creed games, which, you know, they're like the exact same formula. That's why I'm kind of grouping them together. But then they're just like, oh, you need to go like find every single statue. You need to take down every single fort before we're going to let you progress. That I was almost about to be like, you can fuck right off Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I'm 65 hours into this thing. Like, I gotta see it through to the end, man. So I'm currently working on that, and it's like there's 3 areas that I need to kind of clear out completely, and I'm like 2.5 so far, so I'm almost done it. But like, holy smokes, is that ever a weird speed bump that came out of nowhere? And it's in the first third of the game. Like, what is happening? That's anyway.
So you think they're going to do that for the others then?
Oh god, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I figure that's like what you were building up to.
Well, so that's the weird thing is what they're asking you to do is kind of wrap up like everything in this area. So now it's like is the other 2 chunks going to be in Elysium? Because I will have wrapped everything up. Are they just going to kind of wipe that clean and, hey, look, all the statues came back? Or, hey, look, all the forts got taken over again? That would be kind of weird. Or is it going to be a different area? Like, I don't know. Maybe I will get to go to Atlantis. Who knows?
Really
no
weird
one's
if
talking
the
about
fate of
Atlantis.
Atlantis didn't involve Atlantis.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not even talking about Atlantis. They're not even hinting that I'm going to go to Atlantis. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much I'll play that next week with Last of Us, but I will continue on.
You must.
I have to. Yeah, it's my curse. It's my blessing and my curse.
Yeah,
I played
It's your
through.
Odyssey.
It's my Odyssey. There you go. I played through Coffee Talk this week.
Okay. How's this?
Which if you've ever played Valhalla, a cyberpunk bartending simulator game, whatever the subtitle is for that game, this is that game again. It straight up 100%. It is that game. They looked at Valhalla and they said, I want to make one of those without the cyberpunk. And I think this game is fantastic. I loved it. I'm a visual novel fan, so that's, it's ringing up in my alley. But yeah, you're a coffee shop owner. You own a coffee shop in Seattle in the year 2020.
Okay.
That sounds far-fetched.
Yeah.
It's weird because like each day you'll get the morning paper and the headlines are pretty like, oh man, you are taking some shots at the weird politics going on right now in the United States for sure. But it's also weird because like this would have come out right before all the COVID stuff. So there are jokes about weird like there's a I shouldn't say jokes, but they're like poking fun at the weird like racial things going on in the States long before this like current movement is currently happening. So it's kind of weird playing it right now in June. But anyway, the setting of the world, you own a coffee shop in Seattle. It rains every day, which I thought was pretty funny. The background outside is always raining. And the world is a place that is not just humans, but monsters are throughout the world, and mythical creatures are throughout the world as well, just living regular lives. So it's like, oh, this person goes to work. They just happen to be a high elf, and they came into the coffee shop to chat and get some cappuccino, and they're dating a succubus. And there's like a vampire and a werewolf, and there's like a mermaid, aqua tentacle creature. Bunch of different creatures. There's some like kind of like class warfare stuff that's touched on, some racial things. It's definitely a very kind of topical game, finger on the pulse, like I said, with the newspapers you get each morning. But it's funny. I think the art is pretty nice. It's pixel art, but it's like really detailed pixel art. Love the soundtrack. I love the whole aesthetic of it. Like it's just like a super chill. I love the mood. I wish I was at this coffee shop with my buds. Like this seems like such a nice vibe. So I love the vibes. I should say this came to Game Pass. No, it did not. It was an Xbox Live Gold game. Which has been a while since I've had any interest in those games. But so if you have Xbox Live Gold, you can get that for free. Otherwise,
cool.
It's on like everything. It's on Switch. This would be a great Switch game. I think all visual novels just kind of by default are a great Switch game. But yeah, so you're talking to the customers. They'll ask for a coffee, and much like Valhalla, they'll kind of say what they're like kind of feeling, what they kind of want, and they'll give you maybe a couple hints, and then you need to use the ingredients to make them a coffee or a tea or some kind of drink that you think is going to be right for them. Yeah, it doesn't really like gauge you. Like if you give them a bad coffee, like the story will just keep going on. But you can kind of alter some of their feelings towards you based on how well you're serving them, and all that really does is unlock like background information. You get access to like their social media profiles. It's pretty ancillary. The main draw here is just chatting with these people and kind of going through what's up with their life over the course of like 1 month. So there's like a person trying to write a novel who comes in every day. There's like a couple game designers that one's a student and is trying to put out their first game. Yeah, you just you're enjoying hanging out with them, learning their backstories and chatting with them a lot. I loved it. I had a really fun time. It's like a 4-hour game, maybe. You can make latte art if you want. It's totally ancillary. It does not matter. But anytime you make a latte, you can like pour some milk in and Microsoft Paint draw something in there if you want.
Would you say
Yeah,
you
I'd
like it
recommend
a
it.
latte?
I like it a latte.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a good game.
Oh man.
If you like Valhalla, this is exactly Valhalla 2, so definitely play that. But again, yeah, this is Coffee Talk. I give it a 2 thumbs up, especially if you're looking for some cool chill vibes right now. It's like a chill vibes game.
Cool.
And with that, John, why don't you continue with what you've been playing?
All right, I haven't been playing too much. Most of my stuff's been on stream. We've been playing Mom, Metroid Other M.
Okay.
That is an experience.
Did you finish it then? You played through it, right?
No, we're finishing. We're gonna be finishing it Monday.
Okay. Should I play this?
I
have it. It's ready to go. I just never played through it.
The gameplay itself is fine. It's serviceable.
Okay.
But man, that story is trash.
Yeah,
I've been basically making fun of it the entire time.
Sure.
I remember the weird disconnect of like this your like commander not letting you use all of your weapons until like specific moments,
Yeah.
and it's like, yo,
Yeah,
I've been
yeah, I mean,
dying
like-
here. Like,
Yeah, you literally have to be in a situation where I'm like, I am going to die unless something changes, and then he's like, all right, Samus, now you can use the ice beam. Now you can use the Varia suit. Just like
it's weird.
plotting pacing on that.
Yeah.
Samus's voice is very, very monotone. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember that Samus's voice.
I think she talks kind of like this the whole time. And as I sat here wondering why I was in this space station, I reminded myself about the baby. And then I kept saying the baby about 30 different times the entire time. Like, it's just like the pacing and like the deliveries like that. And I can tell it's not her fault. It's definitely the voice director that kind of made her do that. But man, like it's bad at times. Like the main gameplay is you hold the Wiimote sideways like a NES controller. But it's a 3D, it's a 3D Metroid game, so like you're moving around in all 8 directions, like
with like an isometric camera, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, because the camera doesn't move, so it's kind of locked.
Yeah, the camera doesn't really move. It's a per room kind of thing, but like you'll zoom in and out depending on what you're doing. But it does kind of screw you over when you have to run towards the camera and there's enemies you can't see because they don't show up on your radar or anything. But at any time, you can point your Wiimote at the TV and you'll go into first person mode. And that's how you use like your missiles and super missiles. Or you can like lock on a specific targets to tell what they need to be opened and stuff like that. But
remember Wii games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very much a Wii game.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Oh no, I'm enjoying it. Like the bosses have been kind of creative and fun. Okay. It's had some stupid bits and pieces here and there, but like, I'm not gonna tell a Metroid fan to go play it. Basically,
Sure.
Like it is not a 2D Metroidvania. It is not a 3D Prime game. It's this weird in between that had some cool ideas and kind of got hindered down by other things.
Is it better than Federation Force?
Now, Federation Force is just a different beast. That just depends on what you want.
I'm just saying, it's got the Metroid name right on it, so it counts.
Federation Force is basically just like multiplayer Metroid Prime, multiplayer cooperative Metroid Prime.
So it's worse?
I liked Federation Force.
Okay.
But in co-op. So, yeah, no, I can't recommend it, but like the gameplay, if you want to see like a weird, quirky kind of game, and in your case, Paul, you already have it.
Yeah.
You might want to try it out for a little bit just to see how it feels.
Okay.
Just get ready for like swapping between like
so
three
many good games coming out.
Yeah, there are a lot of
2D and 3D.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to play this anytime soon.
Sure.
Also, did the rest of the Bioshock Infinite DLC, Burial at Sea?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I hate that story now. So mission accomplished, I guess.
We did it.
Yeah.
So
the gameplay was fun. The gameplay was great, but man, I hated where they took the story.
Are you gonna go play Bioshock 2 now?
Not anytime soon.
Okay.
I'm a little Bioshocked out at the moment.
Sure. Yeah.
Bioshock, the Burial at Sea DLC basically ties Bioshock Infinite back to Bioshock 1, which didn't feel necessary, and I think would have been better off if they hadn't.
That's fair. I could see that.
Yeah. And then the way they walk to get there is a very long, stupid walk.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for
I
it. I never played the DLC. I should though. I'm curious as someone who knows the mythology of Bioshock.
Yeah, you might find it interesting. Like I found it interesting seeing like all these things from Bioshock 1, because you get warped to Rapture before everything happens.
Oh, okay. Because 2 is also a prequel, isn't it?
2,
To
I
1?
thought happens. I actually don't know.
No, isn't 2 about like the first Big Daddy or something?
Yeah, that's right.
2 is about the first Big Daddy, but I don't think you're literally playing when he's new. I think he's been around for a while.
He's a human that you play. He turns into Big Daddy in that.
Yeah.
No, that's what happens in Bioshock 1.
Wait,
Yeah.
am I
Oh, no,
confusing
that's right,
all
yeah.
the story stuff
I can't
together?
remember.
This story is so convoluted, but so much of it happens in the same fucking
This is why
place.
I felt they didn't need to tie this shit together. Just make your own insular worlds.
No, it's the usual thing of like you get a one-off success. Of course, they're going to want sequels, and then
Yeah.
when you keep telling more and more of the backstory, it's like I kind of wish I didn't know this stuff.
Kinda, yeah. No, well. What do you do?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, the gameplay was fun because you spend the second half, you play as a different character, and they have to be there. They can't get into a fight as much as your main character could, so you actually have to be like stealthy. So I spent the entire time like tranquilizing characters and sneaking around. It was actually kind of fun, but I just hated where the story went, basically. Other than that, I've been playing a beat 'em up called The Takeover. It is a 2D beat 'em up that got put out, I think it was last year. Done by a couple different groups, but I know that the main people behind it were former people from YouTube, like Super Best Friend Plays. I think Matt McMuscles or something like that this was like one of their pet projects, and there's a couple of voice actors from like Dragon Ball Z Abridged on it.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a fun beat 'em up. It's got decent mechanics. You got a punch button, a kick button, but you also have a gun. So at any time, like during fights, you can just pull out a gun and just start shooting people as long as you have the ammo. So it's got some decent mix-ups for it. You can also, between certain stages, do like a vehicle section. And it's just like a weird bonus game you can play for like extra points and extra lives. The only one I've done so far is a vehicle section. It's not that long a game, but it's been fun, and I've been in a beat 'em up mood lately, so it's been enjoyable.
Cool.
Yeah, you get 3 characters right off the bat, and then you can unlock a 4th when you beat the game, and I believe you also unlock a mode where your character swaps depending on what zone or how many lives you have left in, something like that. So it's been cool.
Cool.
If you're looking for like a not too expensive beat 'em up, that's my recommendation. It came out on Switch the other day, so that's all I've been playing.
Better or worse than Streets of Rage 4?
I'm back and forth on Streets of Rage 4 now, because a lot of the complaints I had about Streets of Rage 4, because I did a tournament for it last week. A lot of complaints I had about the game, they put out a post, or someone put out a video the other day saying, "Hey, we're making some big changes to Streets of Rage 4, and here's a breakdown of it all." And like 4 out of my 6 complaints were met. So I think I've come around on Streets of Rage 4. So I'd probably say now Streets of Rage 4 is on par, if not a little bit better.
Okay. Cool. Good for them.
Oh yeah, another thing actually. Sorry, before I jump, Windjammers 2, because they put out a demo. So there's a playable demo with online play on Steam right now. We did a stream of it for a bit last night. That is Windjammers.
Yeah, I bet.
But in like a good way, right?
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. So like it's the standard gameplay Windjammers, but they've added more characters. Except from the demo, you only got 3 of them. New courts, again, same thing. Only 3. But there's new mechanics to the game now too. There's a slap shot move where you can basically parry the frisbee and instantly send it back. And there's also like a little tackle move where you can just like force it onto the edge of the court, like a tennis lob button, or like a drop shot rather. So in Mario Tennis where you just hit the ball and it would end up just barely passing the net, that's a move now in Windjammers.
Cool.
And there's also a jump move. So like if someone like tries to lob it high, you can literally jump in midair, catch it, and throw it, slam it down on the ground towards them. So they've actually kind of like added a lot of layers to the gameplay, which seems really cool. But right now the gameplay it seems almost faster than actual Windjammers, so you can't use them as well as you'd want to.
Mm,
I don't know. I think it's still in the balancing phases.
sure.
Yeah,
But
so.
but it's been cool. It's been cool.
The netplay works
And that's
okay
all I've been
then
playing.
for the demo.
Yeah. For the demo, the netplay was fine.
Okay.
You can't. It's only like matchmaking because obviously it's a demo.
Sure. Yeah.
But we definitely had some desyncs happen a couple times in the 2 hours that we streamed it last night, and we also had situations where we couldn't connect to certain players.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of little quirks to it, but the actual gameplay itself more or less seems fine online. A little bit of latency, nothing bad. But it also obviously depends on the internet of the other person.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and that's all I've been playing.
All right, let's talk about E3?
Question mark?
Question mark?
Fake
Did either of you
3?
watch the EA showcase today?
I did.
No.
Man, that thing could have been shorter, even. But yeah,
It was already pretty short. It was like
It was-
45 minutes.
it was very short. It could have been shorter for
I
sure.
actually
but-
thought this was one of the more exciting EA press conferences I can remember.
Oh, I completely disagree. But then again, I don't remember any more exciting, I guess. EA's always been kind of a bummer for me, so.
Yeah, EA's always been super lame, but I came out of this being like, I'm excited for some of the stuff in here, so that's
Yeah.
why I feel like it was an uptick for me.
Okay.
I also play a lot of Apex Legends, so maybe that's part of it.
That also might be it, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Apex right at the get-go, so that makes sense.
Which makes sense. It's like their most profitable game, isn't it, for EA right now?
Probably. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they started with Apex Legends. They announced that it is coming to Steam in the fall. It is also going to get cross-play support in the fall. Which my big question is, will it have cross-save? Because like cross-play is good and all, but that doesn't actually get me much anything. And then the big one was that they're making a Switch version.
Yeah.
Which that's pretty exciting. I'm real curious to see how that performs and what that looks like.
Yep.
So we'll see. I'll download and play the Switch version again though if there's cross save support. Because if not, I'm not starting over with a separate account after the hundreds of hours I put into my Xbox version. So here's hoping cross save is coming with it.
Sure.
All right, this article is not in order.
No, this is kind of
So-
everywhere.
Yeah, I always hate when they do that. They did an EA Originals kind of 1, 2, 3 games, showing off some smaller games that they're working on. First off was a new one from Hazelight, which is the studio with Joseph Fares, who did Brothers and A Way Out. They're working on a new co-op action adventure platformer that will blow your fucking mind away. Is
Sure.
how
That's how he said
Joseph
it.
Fares put it. Yeah. They even showed the clip from the Game Awards like 2 years ago or whatever it was.
I thought that was funny.
3 years ago. Yeah, I like that EA is just fully on board with who this guy is and how he acts. That game seems cool. I like the games Joseph Fares' team makes, so I will play that. They do some cool like co-op stuff. A game called Lost in Random, which seemed to be quite a ways off. This is from Zoink Games. Loved the art style of it.
Yeah.
Looked like a claymation thing
Beautiful
with like
looking, for sure.
yeah, mystical dye you have. I don't know. We didn't really get a ton of the gameplay of it, but looks just really, really nice.
Yeah. Great art style, for sure.
Yeah, what was the third one? Oh, the third one was Rocket Arena.
Yeah, I don't care about this at all, but good for them. I
Yeah,
guess.
this seems kind of whatever. This one's already up for like pre-order. It's a $40 game.
Oh my
so it's not
god.
huge.
I thought it was free to play. What?
I was just about to say, I think this thing needs to be free to play. Because I cannot see people spending $40 to get into what it is. It is what it sounds like. It is Rocket Arena. It is a deathmatch game where everyone has a hero character that shoots just rockets. The environments looked cool. Like they looked like they had some good map layouts and whatnot. But $40.
$40
Yeah. I think this needs to be a free to play game where I'm getting crazy skins, because they even said the phrase
There's a battle pass.
Blast Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a battle pass, like, and I'm not saying you can't charge for a game and then have a battle pass, but I just feel like the game industry is at a point where it's like it needs to be free to play and then you can have a battle pass. But I mean, Call of Duty doesn't do that, so maybe you don't need to do that. I don't know.
Call of Duty has a battle pass.
Right, but I'm saying Call of Duty isn't free to play and it has a battle pass.
Yeah,
and that's
gotcha.
okay.
Okay.
So maybe you don't need to be free to play. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this thing needs to have like the Rocket League trajectory of you need to make this like as free as you can.
Especially because I was unimpressed looking at it. I honestly, I even said like, if this is free to play, I could see me jumping in with some buddies on a weekend and playing with it. But like, there's no way I'm paying $40 for that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no. This is the what was that game you and I played a little bit of?
Oh, which one? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Bleeding Edge?
On like Game Pass. Bleeding Edge. I kind of have the exact same feeling towards a Bleeding Edge of like, I probably would not pay for this, but like, I'm glad it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. Also, yes, Warzone is free to play in Call of Duty, so they're big.
Warzone is free to play.
Yeah.
But doesn't Modern Warfare also have a battle pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Showed off Star Wars Squadrons. This game had a kind of an interesting reveal. It got leaked, I think, last Friday.
Yeah.
I think it went up on like on Xbox.com randomly, and then EA just came out and said like, yeah, okay, here's the game. Like they couldn't just like hide it anymore after that point. And then it kind of got officially shown off at the press conference. This seems kind of cool. It's going to have a single player component. It's got spaceship dogfighting 5-on-5. It says the whole game is fully VR enabled, so you can also play with people who are playing VR. Also cross play. They said, including with the VR, so everyone can play with everyone. Seems interesting. I'm kind of curious if that single player mode will be worth it, or if it's all going in on the multiplayer. I don't know.
I think it looks
another
beautiful.
$40 title though.
For whatever that's worth, it looks really
looks good. Hopefully they do it right.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's coming October 2nd.
Yep.
I mean, it's not a next gen game. It's not a PS5, Xbox One, or is it going to be a cusp one?
I'm sure at this point, anything that comes out after last fall will find its way to next gen. Because why not? If like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's also worth remembering. Sony made that announcement that any game that is coming out past, it was like a July date, I can't remember specifically, has to be getting developed for the next console. So. Okay, did they announce anything else? They basically just kind of said Criterion, BioWare, DICE are working on next-gen games. They didn't really show anything to grab onto. I'm glad to hear BioWare is still around.
Yeah, I actually even said like, wait, oh yeah, BioWare exists. I forgot all about them. Man.
Anthem 2 coming to the PlayStation 5. They then ended by saying we're making a new Skate.
Yeah, that's dope. Which that could have been a tweet. That was
hilarious to hear. No, we got one more surprise for you.
Yeah.
Skate. And they literally had the quote saying, your comments willed this into exist, or you commented this into existence. That's what it was. That was the specific quote. Which I think this is hilarious. The meme game is actually happening.
That's great.
Which I feel like 90% of the people that were part of that meme aren't gonna buy Skate.
Yeah.
They just liked memes. I don't know. They didn't say Skate 4, so I'm kind of curious what this actually is. But I feel like because he's saying like, you commented into existence, that points towards Skate 4. Who knows? They said they're very early in development on it, so they had nothing to show, no release date, nothing. Just saying that it is happening. I just thought that was hilarious that this is a real thing.
Did they say what studio it was? Because obviously Black Box doesn't exist anymore.
I'm not sure if they did. They definitely had a developer component stage. I just can't remember if he had like a title under his name of where he was. I'm going to assume that they did say it. But I can't tell you. I don't know. So I ask you, are you more excited for a new Skate or for the Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Tony Hawk.
1 and 2 remastered?
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay. I'll play a new Skate.
Yeah, I will too, but I didn't grow up with Skate, so I'm not as excited.
I mean, I grew up with both, but I do like Tony Hawk more. Tony Hawk is easier than Skate. Like, Skate is a hard game.
Yeah.
That's
True.
my opinion. All right, that was basically the EA showcase. Again, it was a short one, 45 minutes, but I thought it was pretty good. This is a weird tweet I just came across. I guess various game sites are getting Crash Bandicoot puzzles sent their way, so it seems like a new Crash Bandicoot might be getting announced any day now.
Yo, I'm in. I'm into it. That's great.
Yeah, I'll play a new Crash Bandicoot. I got that like remaster of the first of the trilogy. I'll play some more Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
This morning, Cyberpunk got delayed 2 months. They're moving
Yeah.
it from September 17th to November 19th. I asked the question to you two. Do you think this is so they could capitalize on the consoles being launched?
Yes.
Like,
Probably.
do you think this is a direct correlation to try and reach the console, the next gen?
Probably.
Unless it's getting ported at the same time at launch, like, no.
Well, it's going to be on both, right? Like, they've already come out saying we're going to do Xbox Smart Delivery, so that says that's going to be on both, right? But
Yeah.
like, I'm wondering, did Cyberpunk, did CG Projekt Red look at this and say we could release it at September, or are we going to have a significant number of our fan base not buying it at launch because they're waiting for the release, and that's going to diminish our day one sales?
That's a fair point, yeah.
Whereas if they pushed it back 2 months out, every version all at once, then their day one sales are huge. They have a big shiny number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is good for me because as a person who, like, I'm going to play this game day one, and now the day one is going to be the best looking version of the game, as opposed to me finishing it by the time the new consoles come out, getting that upgrade, but then not going back to the game because I'm kind of done with it.
Right.
So it actually works out kind of positive for me.
This sucks for me. I was going to play it on PC either way, so now I just have to wait longer.
Yeah, no, you just have to wait longer.
Oh, well.
I saw a funny tweet from Devolver. Apparently, a while back, they're like, "Hey, if our account doesn't get 2 million followers, we're canceling all games, even Cyberpunk." And so they retweeted, like, quote tweeted themselves saying, "See, we told you, we warned you."
Pretty good.
All right. Happening recently after the PlayStation reveal with Spider-Man Miles Morales, there was a whole bunch of confusion about what exactly is the scope of this game. A Sony exec even came out saying, "Oh, it's a remaster of the first one with some extra stuff put in there," which kind of threw a lot of people up in arms that it was going to just be Spider-Man 1 again with a little bit more, just kind of a costume change, almost character swap.
Oh, I didn't assume that, but yeah, I could see how you could.
No. Well, that's what a lot of people were
For
assuming
sure.
based on that comment of it being a remaster.
Yeah.
A number of people, journalists, and then today Insomniac even came out to try to set the message straight. It is a standalone game. It's going to be in scope to like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. So we're probably looking at a $40 title that maybe has about 8 to 10 hours of gameplay.
Sure.
A lot of it's probably going to be a lot of like similar assets, because why would they recreate a different New York?
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
They're probably up-resed a bit because it's just more modern. So that we're kind of assuming that whoever that first exec was probably just got like some of the marketing terminology mixed up, and they probably said like, yes, it's the same city, we're gonna remaster the city, and then he kind of took that as like, we're remastering the game with new. So yeah, like I said, Insomniac kind of had a quick bullet list, and this is on the PlayStation blog if you want to check it out yourself. There's going to be instant loading, 3D audio, ray tracing, and an overhauled city.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm excited. When I heard it was a remaster, that was a bummer because I went from, of course I'm getting this, to, oh, I'm not getting this. And now I am definitely getting this again.
I mean, I just always assumed it was a standalone thing. So that remaster comment is kind of weird because it's like, wait, what?
this had been flip flopping back and forth too. Even this last PlayStation blog was only up 12 hours ago, so it's been a whole week.
Yeah.
Along with that, we got a few more updates on some of the games from the Sony press conference, including some more info on Horizon Forbidden West. That is coming 2021. Which they had no release date before, a week ago. Yeah. They've also basically said, quote unquote, virtually no loading screens, which I'm not sure what that means. No matter if fast traveling or loading from checkpoints. That sounds awesome, though. My guess is there's a load when you first get into the game, and then that's it.
Sure.
I just, side note, I can't wait to see games fast traveling without a load screen. That's going to be so cool. Crazy. The first few times that happens.
Yeah.
Like as someone who's, I'm playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I'm fast traveling all over the place. There's some long loads in the game. That game is huge. No loading for that stuff. I am so excited to see that in practice. Forbidden West is also going to have a bigger map with underwater sections, dozens of new machines, and new tribes, both peaceful and hostile, as seen in the trailer.
Sure, makes sense.
And then the other game we got some more information on is Bug Snacks.
Yeah.
Secret hit of the show. No one really knows what that game is. Here's a quick bullet point that they came out and mentioned. It's a first-person adventure game. The goal is to study bug snacks and find a missing person. There are 100 bug snacks. You can feel the bug snacks in your traps thanks to haptic feedback in the controller. Which I guess, they're going hard with the whole DualSense rumble part.
Sure.
That's got to be like the Switch, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It plays similarly to Ape Escape, and Bug Snack is the singular.
Great. All right.
So there's some information on Bug Snacks. I still think this game sounds awesome. Continuing on, there was a Pokemon, Presents live stream earlier this week with some pretty exciting news in it.
Mm-hmm.
They started it off by announcing Pokemon Smile.
Great.
Did anyone download this and play it?
No.
Pokemon Smile is a game app for your phone that you interact with it by brushing your teeth in front of the camera in order to catch Pokemon. This thing seems extremely for kids. I didn't download it myself, mostly because I don't have a lot of counter space around my sink.
Yeah.
Also, it seems like it's so for kids. I don't need this. But this is a weird thing. Like, sure, why not? And they just stealth dropped it the day they announced it. So that's available for Android and iOS if you want to brush your teeth and catch some Pokemon. They announced Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is some kind of puzzle game. I actually think this looks kind of bad. But you can preload it now on Switch and on mobile. So I did, pre-order that. That comes out next week.
Okay.
I think it comes out next week. Maybe it doesn't come out next week. Anyway, the big announcement, they announced new Pokemon Snap.
They fucking did it. Thank God.
Amazing.
Yeah. It seems like a no-brainer with the Switch, but I'm still shocked it happened. Like, people have been asking for this forever.
It honestly was a no-brainer with the Wii U, so I'm glad it's finally happening.
Wii U, like it, with the Wii, you moving the thing around, like it always made sense, and they're finally doing it. I'm shocked. Coming soon. That's all we know. They also finished up saying new big project is going to be revealed next week. They're going to do another stream on the 24th.
Okay.
I'm seeing in the chat that Cafe Mix comes out on the 23rd.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a free-to-play game, I believe. I'll give it
free to start. Yeah.
Right, which is just Nintendo's way of saying free to play.
Yeah.
All right, continuing on. PAX West finally canceled itself. Basically, the last big game convention that was holding on for whatever reason.
Yeah.
PAX West is canceled. They have, along with PAX Australia, and they have decided to kind of combine it for a PAX Online this year, which is a 9-day long event.
Oh God.
Which is a
PAX never
lot
ends.
of
PAX
it's
never
a lot
ends.
of PAX. Yeah. John, are you getting a panel for this?
Probably not. No.
No. There is going to be panels in some way. They say. I'm
sure.
assuming it's going to look a lot like this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
It's you can read the full thing on online at paxsite.com, but I think it kind of speaks for itself. You'll be able to download game demos. You can buy merch stores. You can do everything you normally can do on the internet, but now PAX will be at the top of your website.
John, if they announce that they're going to continue on doing PAXs that are 9 days long in person, do you actually go for all 9 days?
No.
Or...
Well, you don't even go for like all 4 normally, right?
I do. Well, I'm there the whole weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what if that was 2 weekends plus a week?
Oh God.
That's a Friday all the way to like what the next Sunday, next Monday.
Yeah.
Drone controllers is 2 days long. No break in between.
Oh, kill me now. Oh.
Man, I can't even imagine that, a 9-day expo.
PAX already feels long enough at 4.
Yeah.
Anything past that is too much. Anything
I would
past that is
hope
too much.
I would hope that if they sell a 9-day PAX pass and be like, you can come any day, it works for all 9 days. That pass is like 6 times the size of a regular like lanyard badge. Like it's the size of your whole stomach.
Yeah.
And then you can still wear that around your neck. I don't know. I mean, I could see myself like if it was the Boston one, I want to go to Boston. Not
Sure.
right now, obviously, but in life, I have wanted to go to Boston to see that city. I could see myself like going there, doing a couple days of PAX on the weekend, 1 or 2, probably 1, enjoying a week in Boston, and then maybe doing a couple other days on the weekend near the end.
Even like dropping in and out during the week if like a cool panel you want to see is on one of the days or whatever.
Yeah, if it's near where, like, I'm not going to commute across the city every time, but if it's like I can take a quick Uber there or something, yeah, maybe that's an idea as well. But like, who's the person that goes to all 9 days?
People that work it.
Yeah, exactly. Volunteers.
I guess. Yeah, that's insane. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yes, anyways, there's going to be some kind of an online thing if you want to keep an eye out for that. All right, what's next here? Oh, Chuck E. Cheese. This was sent in to us on the Discord. Chuck E. Cheese has filed for bankruptcy.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
May have to close all locations
because of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, they have kept their doors closed for months now.
Yeah.
They're apparently almost $1 billion in debt.
Holy shit.
And they are asking lenders for a $200 million loan.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could see this.
$1 billion in debt.
The only reason Chuck E. Cheese exists is for kids to go like hang out and play because their food is bad. Nobody was going to order Chuck E. Cheese food like to keep them going. So I could see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese just seems like a product of a bygone era.
It is for sure.
Like, I don't know anyone who's actively wanting. I'm not a kid and I don't hang out with little kids, so I don't know who wants to go to a Chuck E. Cheese. But I feel like kids don't want to go to a Chuck E. Cheese. Do kids know what Chuck E. Cheese is?
I'm
still?
guessing.
Yeah. What's the kid thing to do now if it's not go to Chuck E. Cheese?
Fortnite.
It's probably play Fortnite. It's a 9-day PAX event online.
Oh my god.
No. No.
Yeah, and also like arcades and stuff. I feel like those are for like adults now, and they're barcades, and they're like
Yeah.
Dave and Buster's, or what's the one you guys have? Is it called is it the Playroom?
We have Rec Room. We also have
Rec
another.
Room.
We also
Oh,
have
yeah.
another one
Oh, yeah.
downtown, but they might not be around much longer either.
Yeah, I feel like arcades are becoming more of like an adult thing because
Yeah.
you need to sell alcohol there. Hey, I'm on record saying I love skee ball,
Sure.
and I just wanted to say that.
Maybe you can get a skee ball court or whatever, like
On the cheap from
on a good
from like
cheap.
a Chuck E. Cheese
Yeah.
trying to get some money back.
Yeah.
God, I would love that. That would take up so much room that I could use for 100 better things in
Just
my apartment.
Just put like your bed mattress on it when you want to go to sleep, and then when you want to play, take the bed mattress off. Easy.
Yeah, that's true. Or if I can't sleep one night, I can play a few rounds while my girlfriend is sleeping.
I was gonna say you can make sure that nobody else in your complex is able to sleep.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, last is that Nintendo also stealth released a jump rope challenge.
I saw
I
this.
believe the name of the game is. Did you guys play this?
No.
I hadn't heard about this.
Oh wow. Okay, so this came out. What day was this? Come on, Twitter. The 15th. Would that be Tuesday? Monday. This was advertised as the Nintendo devs just kind of made this while working from home. It's basically what it sounds like. It's a simple little mini game where you do jump rope with the Joy-Cons. Each day you try and beat your record. I downloaded this because why not? It's free. I thought about playing it, but I have neighbors below me I didn't want to disturb by jumping around. And I didn't want to take my Switch outside and fake jump rope with two Joy-Cons in my hand.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be seen doing that, so I did not play this game.
Yep. Fair.
But if you want to get a little bit of exercise, Jump Rope Challenge, it's free on the Switch. It's a first-party title. Like, why not?
Sure.
Well, I just gave you 2 reasons why not. But if those aren't issues, then maybe you should try it.
Agreed.
Jump Rope Challenge bunny for Smash. Let's get him. Let's do it. All right, let's do some questions. If you want to send in questions, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I'll read this first one from VGC Kenny that says, if there was a college class on podcasting and you were offered to be the lecturer of said class, would you do it? What would you teach? How long would the class run? As in, how much of the school year would it take up, not how long each individual class would be.
Are we getting paid?
I guess you're getting paid.
Then yes, absolutely. Why wouldn't I do that for money? That's easy. Easy money.
Yeah.
So how much of the school year would it take up? I mean, if it's a class, wouldn't it take up like a semester?
Yeah,
or is this just like a kind of like a one-off lecture you're doing, like one evening, come to this podcasting seminar?
You can do like a one a month or like a one a week kind of deal.
Because I think you could do both. There would just be different scopes to it. Like if I was having to teach a class, I would be getting these students to be like, all right, you need to be on like some kind of recurring cadence. You need to have, this many episodes done by the end of the semester. If it was just like a seminar, then it's more just kind of like, here's some tips and tricks on that I've learned from podcasting.
Here's a pamphlet. Yeah, for sure. That'd be actually kind of cool to like, the assignment is like, you have to do a podcast and it has to be regular. Like that, because that's a lot of the marketing right there. Like that shit needs to be kind of regular. That's the whole point.
I think there's a couple ways you can do that, because there's one like, not all podcasts need to be weekly, but I feel like for a class setting, for me to like give some kind of grade, there has to be some kind of recurring thing. You can't just do one episode.
Right.
But some podcasts are only like, oh, it's an 8-episode season and that's it for the arc or whatever. But if this is like a whole semester, it's like, well, we've got like 12, 16 weeks of class. You got to do more than, I don't know how much you got to do, but that's something to think about.
Yeah.
What would you teach, guys? What would you do? What would the class look like?
I mean, one of the first things is all the programming, like the programs that you have. You would need to learn like basic audio cleaning and stuff like that. Audacity, working maybe with like, I don't know, if the school could like get like an Adobe product or like something like that. I don't know, whatever the school could get you working with a program for audio stuff.
I think there's an advantage of doing both. Like, hey, here's, if you have nothing, like if you're going to come out of this class and you know you're a broke student, here's the free stuff you can use. Sure. But if you're kind of wanting some high end stuff, you're wanting to get some things under your belt to be like, look, I know this program. This is the one I recommend using.
And then like,
you know, for like a resume.
And then putting on like the live portion, dealing with OBS and XSplit and Twitch and getting like basic stuff made up, video stuff, all that sort of thing. Conferencing software, how to do it in person, volume mixing, all of this sort of thing would like technical aspects.
I think the easiest that I could definitely add to it is definitely on the audio side of like, you know, what kind of filters should you be using? What kind of like limiters should you be using? Blah, blah, blah. What things do you need to think about? Do you need to think about how big the file size is, the different audio formats, you know, all these things I've had to learn and change as I've done the podcast. I think the big thing though is coming up with something that can be done on a recurring format, so you don't just peter out.
Well, these are all different courses, right? Like you would have a course on different formats and stuff like that, probably.
Well, I think it would just be like a podcasting 101 or whatever. And it's like, you know, the topic you're picking, is it something that you can do each week or every couple weeks in something? Or is it just like, are you going to get tired of it after 3 episodes and not wanting to do it anymore? Because a lot of podcasts just kind of end because people are realizing, oh, I actually don't want to do this every single week for the rest of my life.
Sure. I would force people to try to find somebody to talk to, like that isn't someone in the class.
From the class or
no, just in general, and then schedule a time, because then you could find out how fucking annoying it is to schedule shit.
I was gonna say scheduling is probably one of the biggest skills you'll learn out of this.
It's so fucking bad.
Setting up an interview.
It's so bad. Setting up an interview with somebody outside of the country, even. Like, just try like little things like that to challenge yourself.
Yeah, I think some fun challenges would be stuff like, okay, you need to record the podcast. Cool, good. Oops, one of your person's audios broke. What are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Did you have a backup? Did you have a backup in place? No, maybe you need to have a backup every single time, because that I can't tell you how many times that happens.
You obviously have to talk about hosting solutions, how much it could cost to like host, how to do it for free, how to like do little different stuff like that. Like if you want to use a third party,
how to edit,
like Podbean, or if you want to like get your own hosting and like host it yourself, and the hassle that can be, using stuff like YouTube and Twitch to host VODs or whatever. Like you would have to do all that sort of thing, I think.
I mean, I bet there's a podcasting class at some school.
I'm sure there has been for like 20 years now. Like I'm sure this is
old I don't know about 20 years, but definitely for the last decade, there's got to have been.
You weren't listening to podcasts in like the late 2000 or mid 2000s?
20 years ago would have been the year 2000.
Year 2000, yeah. That's probably a little early. There were podcasts. I'm trying to think.
Then. There was probably
very few. I'm
trying to think. When did I first start listening to podcasts?
I think they were called shoutcasts back then, or real casts.
They were. They didn't even have the real name then.
They were real audio. And it was such a pain in the ass. I hated that fucking player, real audio player. And
my first podcast I was listening to when I was in grade 6. So that would have been like,
that's real weird.
That would have been like 2004. That was when I was first started listening to podcasts.
Yeah, okay. That sounds probably about right. And like techies have been doing it a little bit before that, so it's probably been around. there haven't been classes for 20 years, I will say probably, but
No, that's what I'm saying. I bet 10 years ago they probably started implementing a class, or it at least got like a section of whatever the like new media class is. Like, hey, for the next 3 weeks, we're doing a podcasting thing. Here's how audio works.
I mean, hell, that's when all of us started doing shit like regularly.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Yes. Yeah. That's when I started. That's when this one started. So yeah. And I actually remember, this is a fun fact, but and I've said this story on the show before, but like I started this podcast for a class in high school. It was basically like a independent study. And I said, I want to make a podcast. Can I do this for a whole semester as my independent study? And they were like, yeah, sure. And that's how this podcast started.
Cool.
Good times.
I'm 3D Homer says, can you remember having any opinions about games in the past that you look back on and think, what the fuck was I thinking?
I remember having those kind of opinions, but I can't remember specifically the opinion, if that makes sense.
I know. I'm trying to think of one right now, too.
I've definitely had those points where I'm just like, fuck, I must have been cranky back then or something. I can't think of what the hell like I hated this game for.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of these actually, but I'm
trying to think of some old stuff, because I would have had to be a kid to not have realized that this game is bad. Is Pokemon Stadium 2 actually any good, or did I just like playing a lot of those mini games with my friends?
I mean, if you like Pokemon battles, it's a Pokemon Stadium game.
Yeah, I mean, I did like Pokemon battles. But that's one I'm not sure about. That one that game might suck.
Opinions about games in the past.
Kirby's Dream Land, that's the one where you don't get powers, right?
Yeah, that's the original.
Yeah, that one's not great because you don't get powers. But that was like the first Kirby I played, so I played a lot of that.
I mean, it was also the first Kirby, so
yeah,
they hadn't figured out the powers thing till the next game.
Yeah.
I would say for me, I hated Final Fantasy VII for the longest time, and then since then, when JRPGs kind of died off, I'm like, no, actually, maybe I do like this more than I thought. I've wishy-washed on Final Fantasy VII like 3 or 4 times now. Same with Ocarina of Time, and probably Mario 64 at this point too.
Yeah, I mean, opinions change. That's not anything crazy. Oh, I guess I did like. I liked Mario 64 until I revisited it, and I fucking hated it so much. So, that's one. Oh, I revisited Sunshine, and even though I keep saying I like it, that game is garbage. I still kind of like parts of it.
Bad game.
I still kind of like parts of it, but there is some real fucking badly made levels in that game.
Yeah. That reminded me, I played a lot of Mario Party as a kid, and those games suck. Anyway, John, do you want to take this next one from Rasterman?
Rasterman writes in and says, is there any game or media series that you used to really like, but now you feel indifferent about? In my case, that's Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon's a good one, actually. I wouldn't say I really liked it. I've always kind of liked it, and I don't hate it, so.
I mean, I like the spin-offs still. Like I played Pokemon Pinball the other day on stream. That was a blast.
You should try Pokemon Smile. It's a new spin-off about brushing your teeth.
Yep. It would be really funny if I was like, man, Pokemon Smile is the best Pokemon game I've played in ages.
Yeah, maybe.
My breath has never been this fresh.
That's concerning, though, if that is what happens. I just watched Artemis Fowl because that got put on Disney Plus.
Okay, I heard this is terrible.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of those books growing up. Like I read like most of them. That was definitely a book series I was way into as a kid. That movie is absolute trash.
Yeah,
it is surprisingly terrible. So now I've just been questioning myself all week of like, was I an idiot and those books are also bad, or does this movie just suck?
So
And I'll never know because I'm not going back and reading those books right now.
I didn't know about this thing at all until I saw a trailer for it and thought, what the fuck is this? And then the next thing I saw was a YouTube video that's like, Artemis Fowl is the worst thing Disney Plus has ever done. Or something. It's like, wow.
Well, it was in like development hell. It's been trying to be made into a movie for like 15 years or something like this. And I think they were finally just like, we got to get this thing out the door. Yeah. I feel like it's the case with a lot of like young adult fiction books, because ever since like Harry Potter and Hunger Games, they've just been trying to find the next like huge hit, so they're making everything into a live action movie. And a lot of those are just really bad.
Yeah. Any series I used to really like. Sure, there's something here.
The Land Before Time.
You don't like Land Before Time anymore?
I mean, the first one still holds up.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, but
I feel like it's cheating picking like children's like media like that though.
I looked up The Land Before Time somewhat recently, and I think they came out with a new one not too long ago.
I thought the series had been dead for a while.
I think it did die for a bit, but I think it came back. Let's see. They had one in 2016, the 14th one.
Wow. Yeah, after a 9-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Journey of the Brave.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Hebrew Lantern asks, what death in a TV show, movie, video game, any medium was meant to be emotional, but you thought it was funny? I guess let's be careful of spoilers, just in case.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. I know I've got an answer for this, but it's going to take me a minute to think.
I don't think I have an answer for this.
There's something that happened even in a recent game on stream. I remember laughing my ass off.
I feel like I either laugh at a death or like get angry at a death. I never like really get sad. There has to be something that's funny.
Oh, yeah. No, never mind. Someone said it perfectly in chat. They'll pay for this. The Kingdom Hearts 2 bit. Yeah. Laugh my ass off every time I see that fucking scene.
Yeah, all right. I remember
it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Shit, this is actually a hard question.
I wish I could remember what game it was that on stream that I saw death happen. I just started cracking jokes and laughing. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was.
Well, I say we move on.
Do you have one, Sean?
No, I can't think of any. I can think of deaths where I'm like, oh, that was a bummer. Like I think of like the Final Fantasy VII remake ones. That was a bummer, but I can't think of any that I laughed at. All right, Paul, do you want to read this one from Dedinsky?
Yeah. Dedinsky says, if your goal was to get the worst score on Metacritic possible, how would you design a game to achieve this? This is easy. You don't actually...
Yeah, the game doesn't work.
Or you just don't, like, worry about the game. You just piss a lot of people off. Easy.
And then you get review bombed?
Yeah.
I mean, that also helps, yeah.
Yeah.
You could do both to ensure you get the low score, I suppose, yeah. Also make it a full price game.
Yeah, I think you need to make it full price with like a bunch of crappy in-app purchase stuff.
You make Fallout 77. If you're able to take a beloved franchise, you could easily do this. You could tank it real easy. So yeah.
Sure. I think you have to just make it like really broken. Like it is cumbersome to play, you know what I mean? In a way that's like you can still play the game, but it almost seems like unfair. Like sometimes the game doesn't save properly. You know, something that would just really annoy someone.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Oh, here's a good one. What if it also had like some malware on it?
Oh god.
So you
Or you
just
put
got a
like
virus.
Denuvo on there or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I was going a little more aggressive than Denuvo, but like something that literally just like scans your computer, just some spyware shit. All right, John, why don't you take this one from John?
I write in and ask. No, it's with an H. John with an H asks, have any of you ever played a game that you believe had a great concept but terrible execution? An example of what I played was Avalon Code, where instead of preventing the end of the world, you're tasked with creating the new one through a book.
Huh. All right. I'll say it. Eternal Darkness plays like shit, but every idea in it's very cool.
It doesn't hold up, but that sanity idea is neat.
The sanity idea is neat. Kind of the whole story is kind of neat. Even back then, that game was kind of shitty playing. But once you get over that, like, there's a lot of good stuff in there. So if they ever remade that, it would be like chef's kiss. It would be primo.
What's the name of that game again? Kukiyomi, consider it.
Uh-huh.
Is a fun game, but I'm not even sure I'm playing it right, and it doesn't tell you if you're playing it right. I barely know how to play that game.
Uh-huh.
So that is a great concept with bad execution. Which, by the way, and thank you for the people who pointed this out in our Discord, they brought a sequel out for that today. So I am so excited.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now, because I can say Metroid Other M because I like the idea of like Samus dealing with her paramilitary past and stuff like that, and actually like having all her powers, but specifically holding back. But like just the way they do it is just awful.
Yeah, that's a good one. I
think with a better story, it would be much better.
Would you say that is the Zelda game with the most story?
Zelda?
Sorry, Metroid game with the most story.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so too.
Fusion has a lot of story too.
Okay, I haven't played the handheld ones, so
probably the most just like exposition kind of thrown.
Definitely the most exposition because there's a fair amount of cutscenes in it. There's a fair amount of points where you just don't have any character control at all.
All right. Joe to
Kevin
Discord.
says, not counting anything illegal or discriminatory, what is the best way to torch your online reputation?
Oh, not counting discriminatory stuff?
Ooh,
that's
not counting discriminatory. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're both hard because you can't just like post a nude.
I mean, you could be a scammer. It's not technically illegal, but it kind of goes on that line where it could be. I guess you could
rat out all your friends, air all their dirty laundry.
Oh yeah. But even then, some people might consider you like so real, man. Like, I don't know, that's real hard.
But people also like it when people are racist. So I mean, that's not the best counterexample.
I mean, the easiest way is be just like super racist. It's the easiest way to torch it.
You can't in this. You can't in this one.
I know.
Yeah.
Is being a troll with that's not discriminatory, right?
Being like
an asshole, I guess.
Being a legitimate troll, no. What people call trolling these days is yes.
Yeah, no, I mean just like you going around and just commenting in a trolling matter on a lot of like popular videos. Like I feel like if someone caught wind of that, but it's not a huge thing.
Some people have gained infamy doing that though. So I don't know. I guess
if you do it enough.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Some people bring up good points, like basically like just con your entire like community and stuff like that. Like, was it one YouTuber tried to like copyright like a super common term, and that Yeah, React. The React
brothers.
thing. Yes.
Yeah, the Fine brothers, rather.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
They tried to copyright the term React and React videos because they thought they did it first.
Okay.
Because,
cool.
Watching something online and then reacting to it, totally original idea. Yeah, you can just do shit like that, for sure. Anything predatory towards your people that support you will instantly get you blacklisted. And then usually it spreads from there.
Could you start a Kickstarter, get some funding, and then just bail with it?
Yes, you could.
Because I don't think that's technically illegal, right?
It's not illegal. Nope.
Yeah. That would also suck.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, you want to get this last one?
I do. Zamp says, let's say that for whatever reason, you have to get rid of your entire game collection. Digital, physical, whatever. All of it will no longer be in your hands. However, you can keep 5 games that were in your collection and 5 games you didn't already own. What 5 games do you keep and 5 new games do you get? This is weird.
I get the 5 most expensive games that are out there so I can sell them to get the rest of the collection back.
This is the wishing for more wishes.
Yeah, that's what
yes, it is. Fuck you. That's how it works, man. I know how expensive this shit gets.
So
I'm surrounded by it.
This gets weird because some of the games in my collection are ongoing games that like Siege is a 5-year-old game, so like I just need to keep it if I want to keep playing it, right? So like a lot of these games of services.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to pick Apex.
Yeah. These games as services kind of like throw a wrench in the things you can choose if you play them regularly enough.
I'm gonna take Apex. 5 new games do I get? I'm gonna pick Overwatch 2.
Okay.
I don't have to have it early. Just when that comes out, I want that to be one of my 5.
Okay.
Along the same lines, Last of Us Part 2 and Cyberpunk.
Well, that's the thing, right? The answer is whatever like you want to play at that time. I'm okay. I'm kind of okay getting rid of my whole collection tomorrow if I had to. It's not a big deal to me, but I want to keep like.
I feel like this part of the question is more aimed towards me because I have to actually think about this.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, we all have game collections. I don't want to get rid of my game collection. But again, the 5 you're picking, like you're not going to get anything else, so you have to kind of pick like some like things you really want from the future.
I guess I would just stop playing video games. It's not that big of a deal
Breath of
to
the
me.
Wild 2. All right, there's my 5 that I don't own. Those are the ones I want.
Okay.
And what is it to keep? Apex.
Yep. I mean, I keep
Animal
Siege.
Crossing. Crossing New Horizon.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what else I want to keep.
I think I keep Voxelgram because they keep updating the PC version with workshop stuff like every week.
Okay. In that vein, I'm gonna take Overcooked 2.
Okay. Yep.
And Rock Band 4.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay.
And then and then 1 versus 100, but it somehow works, and they're still making.
Oh man, that'd be so good.
Still making it. God, how good would that be if they brought it back for the Series X?
That would be really good.
God, 1 versus 100 is so good.
I think I would keep Slay the Spire or Monster Train. I can't decide which one for like my card fix.
I'm trying to think here now. I know for a fact I would still do what I said. I would pick the 5 most expensive games out there. Not just to resell to get them all back, but just so I would never have to go get those again.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I'm not about to drop $100,000 on like the gold Nintendo World Championship card or whatever the fuck that price is at now. But yeah, that would be for that. For keeping, That's where it gets tricky. I would probably have to pick just the games that like I've always gotten like the most enjoyment out of at that point. So like I would keep like Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. I would keep some version of Tetris. Let's say Tetris 99, since it's got all the old features and the new features. I would keep Super Bomberman 5, so I get like my favorite Bomberman game, but I also get Bomberman multiplayer. Like, I'd have to keep some crazy action game, so I would probably pick Devil May Cry 3 over Ninja Gaiden Black. So like I would probably do that. But the fifth game is eluding me. I don't know what I would pick as a fifth game.
I'm gonna throw Terraria
Maybe
in there. I want Terraria.
Probably throw in Worms Armageddon. That's a big part of my childhood. So yeah, Worms Armageddon.
Cool.
Paul, did you say what new games you want, or that you don't have?
I mean, if it's just like pick 5 and you're never getting them again, I don't care. I'm just done gaming. The way I play games is I like playing the new stuff. So if I can only get 5, just the next 5 that come out, and then I guess I'm done playing games forever.
Okay. That's it for questions. If you want to send questions in, again, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
The Takeover.
I would give it to Disintegration, but The Last of Us, even though it's a 7-year-old game, is just so much of a better thing. Even when you know what's going to happen, it's so much better.
And I'm going to give it to Coffee Talk. If you're a Patreon backer, the submission thread is already live right now. So go submit a game, and that can be on the poll next week. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we will see you guys later. Thanks for listening.
Bye.